Choo-choo, everybody. All aboard the hype train for the Fuji x100v. These cameras are very hard to find right now in the early days of 2023 since they were basically canceled in 2022 in terms of production. This video is my high-level overview of this camera because there are so many videos already on the internet that you've seen about this, which is probably why you were served this video in the first place. This video is my perspective of what it's like to have this camera for the last 5 months as a wedding photographer, as a travel photographer, as a portrait photographer. I'd also like to talk about the hype. Is it worth it? Is it deserved? And why this became my everyday camera. If you don't know what this camera is because you've been living in a cave on the moon, we'll start there. Let's start with what is this camera? What is it? The Fuji x100v is a retro-inspired camera that pays homage to the classic rangefinder cameras of the past. It has a sleek, compact design with a leather-like finish and built-in 23mm prime lens, which on this sensor is more like a 35mm. I was super happy to see all of the aftermarket bits you can add to this camera to make it more functional. I went to town. I kind of went ham on this thing. Now, as someone with big hands, I really appreciated that there's aftermarket solutions for being able to hold this camera for a long period of time, like this thumb grip thing and the bottom plate dude. Even by adding this little tiny button on the top, which you can screw in easily, I was able to hold the camera a lot longer and I found it more ergonomically enjoyable. In the interest of being able to find this camera, because it is so small, I also included an Apple AirTag with one of these little rubbery dudes on it. I'll include a link to all the modifications I made to this camera in the link below. For comparison's sake, this is my Canon R6 with the 35mm. This is the Fuji x100v, and they're roughly the same size. After all the nonsense I put on this thing, this is pretty much the same weight, same size. I use this camera for every commercial and wedding shoot I do. I did take the x100v in my bag for the final wedding of 2022, and although I did forget about it for most of the day because it's so small, I did bust it out during the dances. With its built-in flash, I would say it did a decent job at tracking people, nailing focus, and creating that 90s direct flash vibe that everyone seems to love right now. Now, in terms of a travel camera, it's fantastic. I took it to Iceland, where it continued to be my everyday carry. I photographed waterfalls, horses, northern lights, people, drinks at a bar, rocks, the ocean, and hot dogs. When I say I take this everywhere with me, I'm not kidding. I take it everywhere. I take it on dog walks, I take it to coffee shops, I take it on errands. I even plug it into my car to charge it when I'm driving. This is my everyday camera, and this is my work camera. Right? Lambo, minivan. Just a note, I don't drive a Lambo or a minivan. I drive a Honda CR-V, and it works just fine. That was an analogy, not real life. Thank you. Even though this camera makes me money and this camera so far has just cost me money, I feel more creative and more open to carrying this around than I do this. I feel cool, man. I feel real cool carrying this camera around. Look at the glasses. Joe Cool. And if looking cool inspires you to take the camera with you everywhere you go, then that's all that really matters. It means that I'm bound to take more photos, and you take more photos, you create more art. And you create more art, it's a better world to live in. So yes, I think it's worth the hype. Having this camera look cool, be as popular as it is well deserved. And if it wasn't the x100v, there'd be a different camera taking its place. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something about yourself and me. I really appreciate the like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Lights went out. That's it. Thanks so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. Say goodbye, Jose.